Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries. This week we've been doing some trial assemblies and checking clearances, tolerances, that type of thing, and making some adjustments, and that's probably what we'll be doing for the next few weeks now. There isn't much manufacturing of parts left to do, but all the parts we have to make sure that the fine tolerances are adhered to and all the clearances are correct. So inside here are all of the components that will be here when the engine is finished. And it's a bit of a fiddle to get it off because all of the bearings are meshed. There we go. So you can see all of the parts inside there. So the oil pump is in, the worm is in, the drive sprocket is in for the duplex chain for timing, the sleeve drive crank is in, the ignition plate is in, and the chain tensioner is in. I'll just pop this down over the other side so I've got a free hand. There we go. And we've just been checking a few things. One of the things that we found today is that if you put a straight edge across here, that is just about okay. But here you find the head of that screw, you can just hear it, is just fouling the timing case. So what we've done is we've taken a light skim on the timing cover here, to give us a bit more clearance, but that's not quite enough. It isn't touching, the thing goes down solid, but there is absolutely no room between the two. So we're going to take the timing plate off. So we're going to take the ignition plate off, we're going to take the sprocket off and just take out probably 10-15 thou off that sprocket itself, so that this plate, when we put it back on for the ignition timing, is just a little bit flusher, and then everything is clear of everything else. So that's how it looks when it's all together. This, if you remember, this is a mandrel, so that's not the main bearing, and this isn't the end of the actual crankshaft, because the actual crankshaft over here is quite a heavy thing to lift in and out, and is going to be quite awkward. So rather than have to do that all the time, we've got the mandrel that we made earlier. We've got the worm on, we've got the oil pump, it's all in situ, it's all engaged, so the worm drives the pump and the shaft drives the worm, so there's no issues there at all. And the cam chain, it's not a cam chain, the timing chain is nicely clear of this edge all the way around here, and it's nicely clear inside here. And you can see that the chain tensioner, not a cam chain tensioner, when we drill into here and we make the adjusters, that's going to tension that chain nicely. So it's definitely coming along. Timing wise, the 9 holes around the outside of here and the vernier adjustment on the 3 mounting holes on the sprocket that I explained in another video will allow us to set the valve timing. That's the position of the sleeve where the valves are in relation to top dead center, and that's the relative positions of these 2 sprockets. If we'd put the magnets for the ignition directly on the sprocket, the ignition timing would be tied to the valve timing, and we don't want that. That's why the magnets for the pickup for the ignition, electronic ignition, are on a separate plate, so we can advance and retard the static timing and the position of the magnets separately to the valve timing. And of course all that still probably needs to be worked out a bit when we assemble the engine finally. So the first job is to make sure that there's proper clearance here all around. The oil pump's good, it's just these magnets here, and then we can fit the chain and we're away. But of course we want the real crankshaft in for that. When we get the real crankshaft in for that, which is on the end of the great big piece over there, we'll have the other half of the engine in, and then we will be checking things like, does the piston clear the throat here when it's at the maximum angle at the bottom of the stroke or halfway down the stroke? And similarly, does the sleeve clear the throat, this piece here? Does the sleeve go down any further than that? And if it does, you know, do we need to open the throat out a bit more? So all these things need to be checked. No doubt the engine will be together and then apart and then together and then apart quite a few times, and it's just part and parcel of making an engine that works properly. But that's where we've got to at the moment. Thanks for watching. I think that looks quite smart. It's almost the kind of thing you'd put on a t-shirt, isn't it? Work of art. Maybe I'll open this shop. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, as usual, thank you for watching, and speak to you all soon.